and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's induction ceremony for the Osceola chapter of the National Honor Society. I am Brianna Chase, a current student member of the National Honor Society, and I will be your MC for tonight's ceremony. Members of the National Honor Society inductees and members of the Faculty Council will now be introduced and will be entering in the rear of the room. First is Principal Mr. Robertson Nelson with Chapter Advisor Mrs. Katie Parent. Second is Mrs. Heather Krill with inductee Lucy Louts. Next is Mr. Richard Baker with inductee William Lyons. Next is Mrs. Jennifer Witcher with inductee Abby Sawyer. Next is Mrs. Karen Courier with inductee, current member, Ginny Vernon. And next is Cassidy and Dan O'Connor, current members. Tonight we'll be inducting our newest members, Lucy Louts, William Lyons, and Abby Sawyer. These students have demonstrated a clear understanding of the 5 qualities that are held in high esteem by the National Honor Society: knowledge, leadership, scholarship, service, and character. They are truly outstanding in these qualities. That is why they are being inducted into the National Honor Society tonight. Now if you will please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. At this time, I would like to introduce Mrs. Krill, who will say a few words about Lucy Louts.
A lot of papers up here right now. It is my sincere pleasure to introduce Lucy Louts to you this evening as an incoming member of the Osceola chapter of the National Honor Society. Lucy represents excellence within the 4 pillars of NHS: leadership, scholarship, service, and character, as only Lucy Louts can, uniquely, distinctly, and as originally as possible. When Lucy first joined Girls of Summer way back when, she actually had not embraced hiking as an acceptable or fun fitness activity. I remember her dad telling me about her first ascent up Moosalok, and he used words like challenging and difficult. And I'm pretty sure in those moments he was talking about Lucy and not the actual climb. But what Lucy grew to understand was that she could use her speaking skills, which are excellent, and innate sense of curiosity about people, also incredibly well developed, to make hiking what she wanted it to be. Back then, hiking for Lucy was a series of extended interviews, sometimes with people she knew, and sometimes with complete strangers. AT hikers who had not showered in months became Lucy's best friends. She found peace and beauty in the journey and not just in the destination, something we all could learn from. And in this way, we watched Lucy become a leader in the woods. Younger girls found her unassuming and extremely approachable. Or perhaps Lucy gave them no choice because she was constantly asking questions and drawing them into conversation. This past fall, she took an opportunity to apply for an incredible mountaineering ice climbing program for young women in Alaska. She is not afraid of new experiences. In fact, she seeks them out, knowing that she will grow and change and learn from what the world has to offer her, in the ways of trips to Eleuthera with Miss Steves, or even as a ski instructor as Tiny Types at Loon Mountain. I had the pleasure of watching Lucy coach this winter, and to say she is a natural would be an understatement. Her warm spirit, smile, and ability to make learning fun for a large collection of 3- and 4-year-olds allowed some to believe she was much older than her 17 years. On more than one occasion, a parent in the dev team building at Loon would say, "So Lucy babysits? Where does she go to college?" And I would reply smugly, "We have her for 1 more year." Her little charges in their orange vests with the handles on their backs would have followed Lucy anywhere. But do not mistake her easygoing nature and naturally collaborative leadership style as being a pushover, because I've seen her eloquently and passionately and appropriately stand her ground within her peer group during class discussion or a meeting, and well, maybe somewhat more aggressively with her older sister or younger brother. Furthermore, when walking back from our Macbeth field trip this afternoon after 5 hours of SAT testing, I asked where she saw herself in 10 years. Without hesitation, she replied, "Financial analyst, business psychologist, or career counselor." She shared that whenever she takes one of those interest inventories or aptitude tests, they always result in mortgage broker or social worker. Such a combination of talent rolled into one very special young lady, skilled in math and compassion. I do not pretend to guess where Lucy will be in 10 years. She could just as easily end up a math professor as an engineer, or a Peace Corps volunteer in Uganda. Wherever we find her, though, the people around her will be some of the luckiest in the world. She draws people out of their comfort zones without them even knowing. She lets her world be filled with a little chaos, much friendship and family, and humor, but she always knows where she is supposed to be and who is depending on her. These are the kind of life skills which have already served her well and continue to do so. The personality of Lucy Louts will long be remembered by her teachers and peer group, even when she heads for places unknown. Her roots here are strong, and that's why she's able to envision her impact elsewhere. In closing, I'd like to enter into evidence Exhibit A. This is a photo taken by Miss Steves while traveling in Eleuthera. You can't see this, but I'll describe it to you. Students are wearing gloves and they're picking through garbage at a recycling center. Many are not pleased with their situation. Yet Lucy is wearing her recycling apron, proudly raising 2 dirty glass Bud Light bottles in the air as if to say, "Hello, garbage. I'm gonna make the most out of you too. Just watch me." She's sporting a serious smile, lips pursed as if to say, "Little trash never bothered me." That's Lucy, willing to get dirty, work together, work hard, and make people smile in the process. Please join me in congratulating Miss Lucy Louts in the National Honor Society.
Thank you, Mrs. Krill. Now I would like to introduce Mr. Baker, who will say a few words about William Lyons.
It's my honor and pleasure to introduce Will Lyons to you tonight. Will is a member of the junior class, has a very bright future ahead of him. Will is also a very good math student. I thought we'd put him to the test right now. This is your final test, Will, to see if you really can be inducted into the National Honor Society. Just to make it interesting, we're going to pit Will against the audience. So it's 1 against, I don't know how many we got here. Will, the first thing you have to do so that you can't see what I'm going to write, you have to cover your eyes. Now, I don't want you to hear what they're going to say, Will, so cover your ears too, please. adult serious system. This is just like Simon Says, where you gotta pat your head and rub your belly.
It's a lot easier than covering multiple different.
Do the best you can, though. Your NHS qualified material, maybe if you can pass this test.
So if I get it wrong, am I not allowed to?
If it's wrong, there's plenty of seats in the audience. We'll let the audience go first.
Good luck, Will.
6.
6. Anyone else?
20.
20. 6 and 20.
I'll
Okay.
take an A.
Okay. So, Will, now you get to play 1 plus 1. Or you can uncover your ears so you can hear me. Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna. As long as they like it needs to be clear on the SAT like that. Texas insurance. Okay.
1 plus 1.
1-0.
1-0. The point goes to. No, neutrality. Jackie wasn't news. Will gets the point. 1-0. It's the correct answer.
It's in binary.
Oh, it's binary. Okay, so it's code. Okay. So then, second question. And I'll go turn it back to the audience and say.
Really, it's saying really big numbers in binary.
Oh. I'm sorry. You'll have to ask Will later. You got it.
Do I have to?
There we go. For the audience, 0xA1AB4. No, that's not my license plate.
Q.
Q. Will's processing. All right, Will, I'll turn it so you can see it. 0xA1AB4 is.
Well, it's in hex. I want to say, it's going to take me a second. 662,196.
662,196 is correct. 2 points for Will. No, you didn't get that? What'd you get?
I
But
got 9.
not 662,196. You got 9. All right. Well, I guess you passed, so now I can go on with the rest of my speech. Good thing you passed, because now I have a speech written. So. All right.
I
So,
mean, my first guess was going to be 0x1 or A1AB4, but
well, of course, yes, that was the obvious answer. All right. So, find where my place is in my notes here. Indeed, Will's future is limitless. Whereas some students learn to speak a foreign language like Spanish or French, for some students English seems foreign, maybe even Latin or Chinese, Will can also speak binary, the first problem, hexadecimal, the second problem, C++, HTML, Bash, DOS code, and there's probably some other languages that I'd be lost in, though I'm not sure I'd be really comfortable with Bash or DOS code. Some would say that perhaps Will is a geek. Instead, I'd say Will is extremely tech savvy. Will is prepared to be able to walk into any worldwide technology-based situation and thrive, make the big bucks. The big bucks, Will. Yes. To support his thirst for technology, last year Will created the Game Development Club here at Linwood, with a staff advisor as a support link. In fact, the staff member was there just to monitor, as Will did all of the work. He was like an adult professional, deciding what the club was going to do each meeting, creating and teaching each of the lessons and activities to his peers at their level, keeping the students on task, not overbearing, non-judgmental. He's gone even further with the club this year. The club has filled a niche for students who are perhaps not athletically inclined, but want to participate in the school club. He has a regular following of his peers who respect the work that he has done. Will also gets a technology fix every day by working with a tech director, Mr. Trey Aldridge, during one period of the day. During this time, he works on a variety of hardware and software problems. Usually he's in a room adjacent to my classroom. It would not be unusual for me to hear his excitement in my classroom on solving a problem or on getting an electric can of air. Yeah, that was a big whoop. Or for me to walk into his work area and see him intently staring at a screen of bits and bytes of computer code or writing a program, troubleshooting a problem. He's always respectful and trustworthy while working on the school network. His technology knowledge has already landed in my past summer job doing website development and could well get him another technology job this summer. Mr. Aldrich would love to have you on board. Just last week, Will placed third in the state computer programming and simulation event at the FBLA Spring Leadership Conference held in Manchester. Leaving the STEM, science, technology, engineering, math field aside and looking at language arts. Somehow, technology is going to come up again. Will has his own YouTube channel. When he applied for it and created the name for his channel, he decided to call it Nut Nut Bear. And I'll spell it just so that you know how it's spelled.
Research. I'd like to correct that. The pronunciation is Nut Nut Two Bear.
Right, that's not what I heard. I heard that Nut Nut Bear was a nickname your dad had for you. That's what was accepted for his YouTube channel, so if you type in Nut Nut Bear, you're not going to find Will's YouTube channel. That's what was on his application and was accepted and approved, so that's where you have to go if you want to see Will's YouTube.
Please don't.
Okay. I guess we've all done those kind of typos at some point or another. It happens to all of us. Will is an excellent writer, one who does an incredible job of researching a topic and will thoroughly and precisely communicate his thoughts through his keyboard. He will get the chance to put these skills into overdrive this coming Friday and Saturday when he attends the annual Youth and Government Conference in Concord. The students actually take over the State House and run a full simulation of the government. Will is attending as a member of the press corps, where he has to do multiple interviews, think on the fly, write, report, and be part of a team that prints 2 newspaper editions. It is quite interesting what you learn about a person while preparing a speech like this one tonight. I learned all kinds of neat things about you, Will. I knew Will was an excellent all-around student, but I thought it was really a strength in math and technology. Come to find out, language arts is also a big strength for Will, through writing, reading, or verbal communication. More on that last piece in just a minute. Outside of the building, you might find Will on the school soccer field or on the ski slopes, competing for our team. In soccer, you would likely find him playing one position to start a game, but playing a different position later in the game or for a following game. He's a versatile team member, a true team player who will do whatever is needed to help the team. On ski team, with brother John now graduated, Will had to figure out situations on his own, which he did. A great broadening of horizons. It was good for him. As was pointed out to me, all 3 of tonight's inductees are on the ski team. I don't recall that it was a ski team requirement that you be an NHS student, NHS qualified, nor that ski team is a requirement to be on NHS. Just coincidence, I guess. Maybe, maybe not. The outstanding qualities and dedication for NHS just happen to be great qualities to help succeed on the ski team, and vice versa. The precision and dedication needed for ski team just happen to develop excellent NHS student candidates. During each of the last 2 summers, Will has spent a lot of fun time with the boss. That's not Bruce Springsteen, but the around when was popular and called the boss. No, boss, B-O-S, at Linwood refers to Boys of Summer. This summer program entails a variety of activities such as hiking, fishing, kayaking, sitting around a campfire telling stories, and reading a book. All wonderful activities that any young man would love to do. Well, maybe not the reading the book part. And actually, the sitting around the campfire involved each person talking about the book that they had read. This is actually where Will shined the brightest with Boys of Summer. He eagerly volunteered to be the first to give his oral book report around the campfire. He went into great detail and explanation. When it came to the turn of other group members, Will was eager to ask questions after they had finished, or to add his own thoughts about the book that the other person had read, almost as if Will had read the book to report on instead. The faculty leaders of Boys of Summer had visualized that the campfire reports might last for 20 to 30 minutes. But with Will leading the way, probing, adding more details from his own knowledge, discussing more and more points from each book, the campfire session ended up going several hours. With back and forth literary discussion. Can you imagine that, boys sitting around a campfire with literary discussion in the summer? Not when I was there. I don't know, maybe things have changed. Will was the leader of the campfire, which really helped all of the Boys of Summer participants to bond as a group. Perhaps there was also a correlation between NHS membership and Boys of Summer, Girls of Summer, as all of tonight's candidates also fit that category. Correlation or coincidence? You decide. Some descriptors from people in Will's life include caring, honest, respected, respectful, dedicated, open-minded, great leader, class leader, thoughtful, deep critical thinker, considerate, professional, genuine, humble, invites conversation, positive, smart, competitive, the go-to guy, and a great team player. These are all great descriptors of this young man, and certainly fit the mold of being an outstanding candidate for National Honor Society membership. In closing, with all that I've mentioned, much more, you can see why it was an easy decision for the Faculty Council to select William Lyons for membership into the Osceola chapter of the National Honor Society. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. Next, I would like to introduce Mrs. Witcher, who will say a few words about Abby Sawyer.
Abby, pop quiz, Macbeth. Act 5, Scene 3, Soliloquy 2. Just kidding, I don't think that happened. Good evening. Thank you for coming to support Abby Sawyer in her induction to the Osceola chapter of National Honor Society. It is with great pleasure that I am here this evening to speak to you on behalf of Abby. I have to start by saying that I am very happy that Abby chose to reapply for National Honor Society this spring, as I have seen tremendous growth in Abby as a leader in class, as a maturing young woman headed to Plymouth State University in the fall, and as a peer to her classmates who have faced a very challenging senior year. As a class officer her sophomore and junior year, I heard little else of what was the next fundraiser and who needed to be where and when and what time. She spent hours and hours of her working hard to herd the cats, to create excitement, to execute the events. Last year, Abby's junior class hit some tumultuous times, and Abby, who was a class officer, found herself in somewhat of an awkward position. Does she continue to support her classmates? Does she walk away? And I'm sure she had thoughts of walking away and not caring what happened to the structure of her class, but that is not what I saw of Abby's behavior. I saw Abby reminding officers of things that needed to be done, emails and meetings that needed to be attended, things that a new officer might forget or not even know. I didn't see this as Abby trying to be bossy, but of genuine care, that even if she was no longer an officer, she didn't want to see her class go down in flames. She had genuine care for her classmates, and being the same friends for 12 years or longer, friendships and relationships will change and can change. But dare I say, I feel a mutual respect in the room these days. I think it's due to Abby's growth and maturity. She's turning into a very strong and independent young woman. She works hard in her classes, turning in work on time, if not early, wanting to revise to boost her grade. They'll all say that now accepted to a university that happens less and less, but Abby has always been mindful of her grades and trying to improve. She has her eye on the prize, and National Honor Society is one of them. It's an accomplishment that she has been looking forward to and very much is deserving of. And I will say, she is always keeping her teachers organized. She's been Miss Parent's lab aide for 2 years, and I know Miss Parent is thankful for her help and Abby's orderly tendencies. So I think when she steps into my room, and sees the chaos in which I live and work, she either just feels plain bad for me or just simply doesn't understand how I function. And that's okay, Abby, because I will never live a life of organization, but my mother's been trying to change that part of me since far before your time. And I count on Abby to remember the little things. Try not to forget that we're headed to the elementary school to work with younger students. It's amazing. She doesn't even have to write it down. And I'm like, Abby, please put it in your phone. And she's like, Witcher, I got this. Like, I will remember. And she does. It's hilarious. She is heavily involved with sports in her community. On the soccer field and softball fields, on the ski hill since she could walk. She uses her experience to work with the Kent Carvers and the freestyle program at Moon. She must love little kids because she babysits a jillion hours a week with sometimes getting paid and sometimes not. And during our National Honor Society selection process, I remember reading on her form that she was the bib organizer for the school ski team. Now, honestly, I have no idea what that takes, but I paused and I said, this sounds like something that Abby and Dan would want to do, and I wondered if they squabbled over who maybe got to do it, flipped a coin to see who got to be the bib organizer. It was something that they would not secretly but openly enjoy. And then I thought about the last 3 students that I've spoke about at National Honor Society. Andrew Harrington with his paper clips, Dan, who seriously organized my desk drawer today, and I looked in it and I was like, what? I didn't know I only had half this stuff. And, Abby, who was constantly trying to organize my life. So I'm wondering if whoever puts me in charge of these speeches has something, that they want to rub off on me, or there's something I need to change about my own life, I'm not sure. So some of our most exciting times in senior English is when students get accepted to college. And so proud of Abby for being accepted to Plymouth State University. Only place you applied, right? Yeah, only place she wanted to go. She's so thrilled. She comes in reminding me of the poster that I make that goes outside my room where I write down all the kids. So she's the first on the list. And then over the course of the next few weeks, Abby comes in talking about Facebook pages for incoming freshmen and how do you choose a roommate. And then it was, I found this one girl and we were on the admitted Facebook page and we have the same major, same hobbies, we like the same stuff, the list goes on. And I remind you, it's February, it could be January. And as a class, we collectively told her, slow down. There's plenty of time to find a roommate. Do not jump at the first person that seems you have something in common with. There will be plenty. I don't know if she listened, but that is how excited Abby is for college. Did you listen? My mom, you're going to roommate with her? That's so fun. That's so fun. I'm excited. All right. So Abby aspires to be an Why don't you listen to my advisor? Abby aspires to be an elementary teacher. However, a few years ago when asked what she wanted to be when she grows up, she answered Mrs. Willie. No doubt partially due to Abby's time spent in the office, not in trouble, but her devotion to saying Pledge of Allegiance each day. It raises the question, does she never want to leave Linwood? Does she want to work with Mr. Nelson forever? But, and Mrs. Willie, it makes sense to me. I can see that there is not anyone who is more of a rule follower and somebody who is organized than Mrs. Willie. Regardless, I have no doubt that Abby will love college life as much as I did, that she will be successful in classes, she will make friends, she will be involved with her community and her school, and it is with enthusiasm and privilege that I welcome Abby to National Honor Society.
Thank you, Mrs. Witcher. Members of the Osceola chapter must effectively demonstrate 5 qualities which are held in high esteem by the National Honor Society. At this time, the current 80+ members would like to review those 5 qualities. To light the knowledge candle, Dan O'Connor.
Knowledge. Knowledge is the state of knowing. Each day, through experience and study, we become more familiar with, more aware of, and gain understanding of the world around us. The way in which each of us perceives, discovers, and learns through our experiences and studies makes how we know who we are unique. It is the responsibility of each person to learn as much as he or she can. One should look forward to each new experience and take it on with the desire to learn and expand one's knowledge. It is with knowledge that a person can overcome any obstacle he or she may face in life.
Lighting the leadership candle, Ganeet Berman.
Leadership. Leadership should exert a wholesome influence on the school. In taking the initiative in class and school activities, the real leader strives to train and aid others to attain the same objective. The price of leadership is sacrifice, the willingness to yield one's personal interests for interests of others. A leader has self-confidence and will go forward when others hesitate. No matter what power and resources may exist in a country, they are inflexible without the guidance of a wise leader. Leadership is always needed, thus to lead is an important charge to each of our members and to the candidates.
For the scholarship candle, Cassidy Santos.
Okay, scholarship means a commitment to learning. A student is willing to spend hours in reading and study, knowing the lasting benefits of a cultivated mind. We should continue to learn even when formal education has ended, for education ends only with life. Scholarship is one great element in life which leads to the highest success, and it can be acquired in only one way, through diligence and effort. Learning furnishes the lamp by which we read the past and the light which illuminates the future. Candidates have the charge to continually expand their world through the opportunities inherent in scholarship.
For the service candle, also Cassidy Santos.
Service can be described in various ways. In the routine of the day's work, many opportunities arise to help others. Willingness to work for the benefit of those in need is the quality we seek in our membership. We are committed to the idea of volunteering our time and abilities to the creation of a better tomorrow.
To light the character candle, Ganeet Berman.
Character. Character is the force within each individual. which distinguishes that person from others. It gives each one individuality. It is that without which no one can respect oneself, nor hope to attain the respect of others. It is this force of character which guides one through life, and when once developed, grows steadily. Its character is achieved and not received. It is the product of constant action, daily striving to make the right choice. The problem of character is the problem of self-control. We must be, in reality, what we wish to appear to others. By demonstrating such qualities as reliability, honesty, and sincerity, we may hope to prove by example that we value character.
Thank you, NHS members. At this time, the Osceola Chapter Advisor, Mrs. Parent, will administer the induction pledge.
I'd like all the inductees and the members of National Honor Society, including those of you in the audience, to repeat the induction pledge after me. I pledge myself to uphold the high purposes of National Honor Society, to which I have been selected. I will be true to the principles for which it stands. I will be loyal to my school. I will maintain and encourage high standards of scholarship, service, leadership, and character. When I read your name, will you please come forward to accept your PIN, membership card, certificate, and then sign your name in the membership register. Lucy Louts. Sign your name. Last year, you didn't sign.
like to introduce Mr. Undersea and the Linwood Band Flute Trio, who will be performing March in B Flat by G.F. Handel. Thank you, Mr. Undersea and the Flute Trio. At this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Nelson, who will make a few closing remarks.
Your accomplishments in the areas of knowledge, leadership, scholarship, service, and character are being recognized tonight by your induction into the National Honor Society. This is a wonderful way for the school and community to celebrate the choices and sometimes sacrifices that you have made. What probably makes you and your parents the most proud is not the honor itself, but what you had to do to earn it. As Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, the reward of a thing well done is to have done it. I challenge you to not just rest on your current accomplishments, but continue to reach for higher goals. The 5 requirements for membership into the National Honor Society are the characteristics that define an individual. They are the core values of life. The most important thing to remember is that each of these qualities is the sum of many individual decisions. Continue to make good choices and take advantage of the opportunities that lie ahead. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. On behalf of members of National Honor Society, I would like to thank everyone for coming. At the conclusion of this ceremony, you are all invited to take a few minutes to congratulate our newest members. Members, please be available near the front for a few minutes for photographs. We invite everyone to please feel free to have some of the refreshments provided by Ms. McGinley's Foods Glass. Thank you.